Not only did an LAPD vehicle, because I know I saw top lights on it, and you know what kind of lights we're talking about, but it speeded down a 25-mile-per-hour zone by 80 miles per hour. Now, why would it do that unless it was looking in my house through cameras? And let me show you a couple. So hold on here, and then we'll get to that next. But look, all of a sudden, this car. Now, I don't know that person, and I don't know that car, but I've been living here 25 years. Well, we got an electric problem now. You saw the lights turning on and off? Yeah, they're involved with that because they're cut off electric off the walls, so my phones don't charge. Pretty stupid. Now, it's kind of quiet now because everybody knows I filed and pressed criminal charges now, and it's on YouTube. So once they say, hey, you didn't state it, well, hey, it's on YouTube and me leaving it a message not only earlier today once, but twice and put on YouTube. So they can't say, hey, you didn't take care of business, because I did. And now a vehicle that's a Prius is pulling into probably most likely police officer apartment 2, who has a patrol police ID connected to her home but pointing at my window. But sends people to my window to knock and act like crack addicts, pulling out heroin out their pocket and looking like junkies as I'm putting evidence on them. But them doing it to try to get me busted to make it look like I'm a narcotics dealer, which they made sure to steal everything I owned so I wouldn't be one. But illegally, of course. And we'll get to that. What we're doing now, fuck it. What they did was this. Very smart. Not only had people in the building, but their biggest mistake, me knowing what organized gang stalking was, and someone that didn't like them just as much as I did, and knew that they were cowardly, and committed cowardly crimes, just like it says under the organized gang stalking definitions, that calls them cowards. And that's why they let children be victimized, and pedophiles have sex with them, and then fail to report it, and 6 police stations, in fact, do that too. And proof of that would be 6 police stations last year under my Wi-Fi, but 5 out of their jurisdiction, of course. Now, I would have to state this, because they're involved with child crimes, they decide to fraud a child endangerment phone line so children can't get help. Now, what kind of police are these? Really? What kind of police do you think those are? Ones that are going to help your children or fuck your children and sell them on the street? But pretend and play a good role with their little children programs when they're the ones selling and pimping out children to pedophiles and child porn distribution. Which is a good lie and comedy act they all go by. But its funny thing is, internal affairs agents, instead of helping me, send 2 hitmen to kill me instead. Oh, how do I know? Well, let me just tell you how. One of them told me internal affairs sent them. You believe that shit? But how I know the second one wasn't for sure? Because it was the same type of deal. Military, African-American man, at the bus stop, which you could catch. Not only last week, but before, a man on a bicycle pulled up to me and said, hey, bro, or said, hey, Mr. Deputy Grimes, in the parking lot of Woodland Hills. And that's not before having that conversation with the African-American man who lied to me and said he wasn't a military man, but did the same thing the other man did to me. And when I was walking up to him, he starts waving his hands in the air. And I said, oh shit, this is a military man that breaks bones. And he could break everybody's bone in 2 minutes. Which are certain military men that have special, you could say, psychiatric issue, but these dudes will break every bone in your body in a heartbeat because they're calculated killers. And they will do it like professionals and get it done. And the second guy did the same thing, but it's on video at the Orange Line in Woodland Hills, but not before. That man rode up to me with the bike and say, hey, Deputy Grimes. And it being under satellite, but not before the 300 police officers in the parking lot proved it. Just like at Costco, when I was returning the TV and the other 300 men were police officers and women's families were at Costco in Northridge, California. Same deal. And when I took a picture of one of those police officers' car, and it's on Instagram with 16,000 pictures to prove it all, well, go ahead and check it out. It's Mark, M-A-R-K, period, S-H-A-L-L-I-T, period, 902 at Instagram.com. But if I really have to say to prove something, I would just easily go to this and show you, say this. Well, check this out, bro. Here you go. Well, why don't you go ahead and just dig into this thing. And this is the hard drive. Not only containing 120 hours of LAPD, pretending to be everybody and your mother. But not to mention White House officials, Secret Service agents, Homeland Security, Congress, and everybody else in the country, lawyers, etc. Here you go, check it out. Those are the serial numbers, so I won't be a liar. And I'll prove it to you in a second. How not only it was on my computer with 40,000 pictures and videos of evidence, but with 120 hours, evidence from an FCC device that's recorded, WS-853, Olympus recorder, but with the 29-minute recording listened to by the impersonator of Secret Service agent, but at that held interview at my probation office, with it being a 29-minute, 35-second, and registered to the FCC through a serial number. But it registered under my name, the recorder, to prove it all, and you can see it on that Mark Shallot website I just gave you about a minute ago, to prove it all. But these serial numbers will tell you everything, not including the illegal surveillance on this and being in the hundreds. And go ahead and check it out. Don't take my word for nothing. I'm a liar. Just tell about the evidence. And the evidence will tell you everything. Call me the biggest liar, but listen to the facts and the evidence only. And that's what I'm talking about. Because I don't need a bullshit. I keep it real. And there's no faking the funk around here. And I don't go sideways on nobody. I walk one way only. Straight. And straight up. And that's why I have to go through all this bullshit. For protecting their kids. And as they're part of the minority. As the minority was going to get taken out. Which is so stupid. And don't even understand why billions of people are screwing one. But I actually protected them and their families too. But they still try to screw me over by the very people that were taking them to their graves faster. And why I'm so pissed off in the first place. And that's why I'm really pissed. So I'm even more mad now for them doing that. So I'm really going to dig into them now. So go ahead and check this out too. And this is called an illegal camera on a hard drive. Kind of like the thermopatch that you're going to see right now on the thermopatch that came inside a home phone of an AT&T home phone. That wasn't a home phone, but a transmitter like all my phones are, and why the reason all my calls are transmitted to where they go. By LAPD involved, the calls. Yeah, and what do you think that is? That's called the thermopatch, by the way. And welcome to Thermopatchville, because all my phones are thermopatches. And that's why there's cameras on each one of them, but I'll show you a blown up picture. So hold on. I don't want to be a liar. That's why. So go ahead and check this out. Right here. And then you could call me a liar after. Yeah. This is called the thermopatch. And that's called light. And that's called the thermopatch on an AT&T. Not only phone, but being in an enclosed AT&T home phone of the time of the crash. And 93 million people involved in keeping facilitated torture. And being involved in hiding a cyber terrorist attack to the White House, but not only explosives being loaded to a van, but LAPD failing to call a bomb squad? Really? When it's required by law? I don't know. It's kind of fishy. What do you think? But the serial numbers contained on this. Not only that you'll be able to see clearly, more clearly than this, if I focus on it, but you'll be able to see clearly on that website I gave you. And that way, you can go ahead and deem them funding terrorists for a plan against the White House of a life sentence crime for over 30 years. But over 18 years, I could prove for sure. Guaranteed. But not to mention Tesla, too, who joined in the party. On that part, they're screwed. Because I got their chips. And not only the processing chips, but how they hid everything through the water system. Now what they did easy, had an I Love Plumbing police officer and also involved in walking a police station wearing an I Love Plumbing on shirt like the moron he is. But using a police ATM and it being on body cam evidence with Mrs. Godfrey while reporting the White House crime that was never turned in. Because their police department was involved in it. And that's called color of authority, which they could go to jail for. Guaranteed. No matter what. But, let me state this. Other big mistakes they made. Well, let's go ahead and flip through this. And let's just take a look at some little facts, of course. You know, we have plenty of facts, but, you know, we don't need to dig too deep. But sometimes I like to, because they like to dig deep in me every day. I'm going to go ahead and help them out with that digging, and help digging in them. But go ahead and check this out. But this is not before Spectrum denied having my phone, but LAPD helping hide my phone with this company and under my brother's name, but not before them giving him a pardon on a 2-year jail sentence to commit medical fraud for them. Not only so they don't get caught for this. And let me show you what I'm talking about. What they put in my home and say I imagined. and try to make me look like a mental person instead, and involved with not only in the 4th kidnap on January 10th, 2017, or no, yeah, I think it was then, when I was taken out of your hospital, and my attempted murder there, when they promised on a 15-minute recording that being the female sergeant, and failed it as I was suffocated, both my ankles broken out, and laid on a metal slab on my last breath. But not 2 feet before me, next to me, was a police officer. And it just,